We're going around the country this week to show you some of the best high school talent in the nation. We'll stop in California and Texas to meet a pair of elite quarterbacks. We'll also tell you about an offensive lineman with a familiar name in Washington, D.C. And we'll stop in Florida for a chat with one of the country's top pass rushers. That and more coming up next on Sports Stars of Tomorrow.
Sports Stars of Tomorrow is brought to you by American Family Insurance. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Charles Davis. We have some great prospects to introduce you to today, and we're getting started out west with one of the nation's best signal callers. Sunny Southern California is a hotbed for high school sports. Whether it's on the court, the gridiron, the diamond, or somewhere else, several blue-chip athletes come from the Los Angeles area every year. In the 2015 class, the nation's top quarterback and maybe top overall player can be found at St. John Bosco in Bellflower, California. Meet Josh Rosen, a 6'4" signal caller whose arm got him noticed early on. Very early on.
He was always throwing things. Even in the crib, you'd approach the crib and you'd find a bottle flying at you or some toy, and you'd often have to duck.
The throwing thing was funny, but really he got into so many other sports because of that. But we really didn't have much to do with him getting into football because it was a classmate of his whose parents talked me into letting him play. And at the time he was very deep into competitive tennis and thought that was the bomb, and that's all he wanted to do the rest of his life and become professional.
Tennis skills run in the Rosen family, as Josh's older sister Beatrice is an All-American at Emory University. And Josh showed a lot of promise in the sport as a youngster. But once Josh started playing Pop Warner football, tennis quickly faded to the back of his mind.
He qualified for a national tournament when he was about 10, and we knew when he told me that he did not want to go to the Nationals because he would miss a Pop Warner football game that season. We knew that something was shifting and something was changing, that he really was just loving it more and more. And then 2 years later, he just walked away from tennis without looking back.
Josh was especially intrigued by how football players can win not only with raw strength and speed, but also with complicated strategy.
I just love the fact that it's a chess match throughout the entirety of a game, but at the same time, you can just send someone deep, and it's so calculated, but at the same time, you can just physically impose your will on another team that may be inferior just outright. While he has all the physical gifts you'd want in a prospect, Josh says his mental approach sets him apart. I describe myself as a player who can check the box in every physical department, but there's always my X factor of being able to beat someone with my mind and get into the right play and not maybe need to use that 60-yard arm I pride myself on, and get someone open by 5-10 yards, so it's just an easy pitch and catch.
We could throw anything we want at him in terms of an offensive scheme, block protections, putting us in the right play, in the right formations, understanding the entire scope of the offense. He's special. He's very special in that regards because of his intellect and the ability that he has to learn the game plan and prepare.
All of Josh's potential came through for Bosco in the 2013 playoffs. He led the Braves to their first ever state championship, and it was capped off with an impressive victory over perennial powerhouse De La Salle. I loved being that one team that finally did it. It's different going to, say, a Mater Dei or a Servite that's won it so many times, but to be that one team that pushed them over the heap is awesome, and to be on the stage that was set for us is pretty special.
Josh had an up and down junior season in terms of, on the field. He started out super strong, and then he had an injury that kind of hampered him a little bit. But once he got into league and started hitting his stride, he played really, really well. But then once we got into the playoffs is where he really took off.
Josh was proud to join a rising program and take it to the top. And he was looking for something similar in college. He wanted a strong program with the potential to break through and win championships. He found the perfect fit in UCLA.
To feel the support that we got as a high school football team from the community, just people writing letters to our head coach and sending emails and phone calls because they're so excited for a program to finally do that it'd be cool to feel that again at UCLA on a much larger scale.
He kind of has an underdog personality. He really the things that he sort of goes for and is attracted to and what motivates him, what makes him competitive. He sort of finds a very sort of humble situation and really wants to turn it around or make something of it. And I think that's pretty cool.
If Josh is able to win games at UCLA the way he has at Bosco, he may get a chance to help an NFL franchise build into a championship team as well.
He definitely has the talent. He definitely has a work ethic. He definitely has the mental capacity to be able to do it. So as long as he can stay injury-free and continue to do the things that he's been doing to put him in the position that he's in now, I certainly think he can continue this all the way through the professional ranks.
Let's take our first break. When we get back, we'll head to the nation's capital to meet a young man whose name Washington fans are sure to recognize.
True Heroes is brought to you by Project Rebuild. Look for the Project Rebuild display at Walmart and help the Military Warrior Support Foundation award mortgage-free homes to combat wounded veterans by purchasing Dr. Pepper Snapple Group products.
Sports Stars of Tomorrow is brought to you by American Family Insurance. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
Each week here on the show, we take time out from our stories on these great athletes to honor one of our nation's heroes. In this week's True Heroes feature, brought to you by Project Rebuild, we get a glimpse of what life is like through the eyes of one of our bravest soldiers.
I'm Anthony Daryl Dukarga. I was born in Monrovia, Liberia, West Africa. I'm Staff Sergeant in the United States Army. I've been in the Army for 8.5 years. Growing up, I was born in Liberia, Monrovia, Liberia, a poor country. We had a civil war for almost 16 years. It was always people getting killed. It was this one going on. We were just running around and there was nobody to help. And I still remember growing up when President Bush sent the U.S. Marines over to my country at that time. And they took over the city and they were keeping the peace for 3 months. And every time I used to go walk on the street, I used to tell myself, one day if I go to the United States, I'll join the United States Marine Corps. We was conducting rock clearance. It's pretty much looking for an improvised explosive device. So it was our mission to make everything work better so other people can come and be saved. Those guys just risked their life and just, helping people, like putting band-aids, covering this other person up, and don't even care if something's gonna happen, but it was just like helping these people that we went over there to help. And I was like, wow, this is one thing I joined the United States Army for, to help people, and then this is the same thing I remember the Marines were doing back in my country, and then we're doing the same thing over here. It was an experience that I'll never forget. It changed me a lot. It made me grow to become a better person too.
Anthony Dukarga is this week's True Hero. Visit militarywarriors.org/Project Rebuild to find out how you too can help these heroes rebuild their lives. Let's go to Washington, D.C., right by the United States Capitol, where Joe McCann is with one of the country's top offensive linemen.
They say there's no I in team, except maybe at Gonzaga College High School. They call themselves the Men of I, as in I Street, here just a few blocks from Capitol Hill. And here, Washington football fans can find a very familiar name blocking for one of the area's top football teams.
Richie Pettibone plays offensive line for the Gonzaga Eagles. He's grown up loving the game because as a youngster, he spent every Sunday at his grandfather's house watching NFL games.
When I was really young, I didn't even know that my grandfather or dad played football. I mean, obviously it's on Sundays, we'd, all be together watching football and stuff like that. And then, one day, my grandfather, I always realized he had this huge ring. He'd always wear it, and it was a gold ring. It had the Washington Redskins symbol, and I said, Grandpa, what is it? Young age, what is it? You know what I mean? And he explained to me, Richie, that's a Super Bowl championship.
The man Richie calls Grandpa Football actually shares his name. The eldest Richie Pettibone played 13 years in the NFL, but he really made his mark as a coach. He was Washington's defensive coordinator for all three of the franchise's Super Bowl titles in 1982, 1987, and 1991. Football has remained an important part of the Pettibone family, from his son Richie M. Pettibone, who played at Maryland, and now to his grandchildren.
He's Grandpa Football, so when the boys are around him, as grandchildren, it's pretty special. And obviously, because of the tradition of our family, little Richie's kind of rolled into, the whole football thing and, loves the game and works hard at the game and lifts the weights and eats properly and gets his rest. And that all kind of filters down from Grandpa Football and myself.
Today, little Richie isn't so little. He's 6'3" and over 300 pounds. And he loves the physical nature of the game.
I think it's the greatest game in the world. Just the physicality, you got to compete on every play, and it's the greatest game in the world. It's the greatest team game, and I love football. Love getting physical, love compete.
I didn't get sacked once. He blocks every single time. There was not one time where I had to worry about Richie getting beaten. But having him is definitely one of the best gifts I have at Gonzaga.
Richie's dominance is more than just a result of his size. He puts in the time to make sure he's in the kind of physical shape he needs to be in to be recognized as one of the nation's best prep offensive linemen.
The most important thing is his work ethic. He's a competitor. He realizes that good is good, but great is great. Good is an enemy of great, and he wants to be great.
His athleticism caught the eyes of several top college coaches, but when Nick Saban and Alabama offered, it didn't take long for Richie to commit to the Crimson Tide.
He has a particular eye for talent, and he has a way of getting the most out of them.
Nick Saban is probably, if not one of the greatest coaches to ever coach, but definitely the greatest coach right now, and just such an honor and a privilege for me to be able to play for Coach Saban. And it's a great place, and not only football, but a great academic school, and it's just gonna be a really, really great place.
The academic aspect is important to Richie and his family because he knows football will end eventually.
I think everyone's goal is to play in the National Football League, the NFL. But the NFL stands for not for long, and you never know what's going to happen. So going to a school like Gonzaga and going to a school like the University of Alabama, it's going to be great backup for me, and that's the main goal is to be successful in life.
But it could be a while before Richie has to hang up his cleats. Combine his work ethic with Alabama's track record of cranking out NFL prospects, and he could be playing the game for a while.
Well, he wants to play in the National Football League. Take it one step at a time. The reason for an Alabama is that if you are successful at Alabama, you might have an opportunity at the next level with the National Football League.
And who knows, if things go just right, young Richie might get his own Super Bowl ring that he could show off to Grandpa Football. In Washington, D.C., I'm Joe McCann.
Thanks, Joe. It's time for another break, but we'll have another standout quarterback on the other side.
If you would like to contact the show, connect with us online. You can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at SportsStars TV. Sports Stars of Tomorrow is brought to you by American Family Insurance. Your dream is out there. Go get it. We'll protect it.
High school stars dream of playing in one of the nation's top all-star games. Every week we feature one student athlete who is working to get to the game. Here's this week's featured player.
Get to the game, presented by American Family Insurance. Simba Short, a linebacker at perennial national power De La Salle High School in Concord, California, is far more than just a football player.
Simba's a unique kid. He's a great football player, but he's not just completely about football.
I'm passionate about football, obviously, but I'm also passionate about art.
Simba's art has been important since he was very little, and so I would take him to plays, go to museums, in addition to football.
Having that release in art definitely helps me. I can have a bad day, and I can put something on paper and lose myself in that, so it's not me focusing on that negative energy, it's positive.
With his varied talents, strong work ethic, and rock-solid family foundation, Simba possesses all the building blocks for success.
My dreams for Simba is for him to be the best he can be. He's going to go wherever he wants to go. All he has to do is point the direction.
Some of my dreams in life is just to be successful in anything that I do, whether it's a business route, whether it's an art route, show people that I can be successful off the field as well as on the field.
I help Simba protect those dreams by keeping him grounded, so he knows how to succeed in life without me pushing him there.
Luckily for Simba, dreaming big is in the fabric of De La Salle, whose inspired history and tradition is the focus of the new film, When the Game Stands Tall.
I came to De La Salle because I would always watch De La Salle on TV. It was really a dream for me to actually be able to come and play.
A lot of people have heard about the tradition. Carrying it out is something that's completely different. The older guys are going to have to help those younger guys understand what it's like to be a De La Salle varsity football player.
Being a leader on this team, it's a big responsibility, and I really want to make the people that came before me proud.
See When the Game Stands Tall, only in theaters.
Let's go to the Dallas area to meet another one of the country's top quarterbacks. Over the last 3 years, Allen High School's Kyler Murray has become arguably the biggest name in Texas high school football. Entering this week, he was unbeaten as a starting quarterback, 31-0. Since taking over as the Eagles starter, he's done everything Coach Tom Westerberg has asked. This year, however, Westerberg is asking his senior quarterback to do something no other Texas high school gunslinger has ever done: lead his team to a third straight state championship. Sure, teams have three-peated before, but no school in Texas has ever won 3 in a row with the same quarterback.
It's always in the back of your head. You won 2 in a row. Next thing to do is go 3-0. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do, take it one day at a time. Lead these dudes to one game at a time.
He's done a great job throughout his sophomore year, and then coming into last year, we switched some stuff up where we really relied on him throwing the football a little bit more last year, as opposed to when he was a sophomore, we ran the football quite a bit. And this year, you're going to see us have some things spread out again.
Murray's leadership and amazing stats obviously caught the eye of college scouts. After being recruited by almost every major D1 school, Murray followed in his dad Kevin's footsteps and verbally committed to Texas A&M. Although Kevin was an Aggie star, Kyler knows that he will inevitably be compared to another A&M signal caller, Johnny Football.
I want to be that guy. That's what I've dreamed of. Going to a college, being that dude, doing what I love. Nobody's gonna care what I do, here when I get up there. So I'm just gonna have to take it day by day and hopefully, earn my stripes and be able to do what I do.
When he scrambles, he's really looking to scramble to throw the ball, not as opposed to scrambling to run it. So when you talk about dual threat guys, just because he has a little speed, that's what they talk about. But he's looking to, when he scrambles, he's looking to throw the football first. So we like him throwing it.
Kyler Murray is out to make history in the state of Texas. Let's head to the Tampa area now for an elite pass rusher. Byron Coward of Armwood High School is one of the best overall players in the 2015 class. He's a consensus top 5 prospect, and Rivals has him number 1. But his goals go well beyond any recruiting rankings.
My goals, I won't be satisfied until my goal is to be Hall of Fame in NFL. I have to make outrageous goals so that while people are saying, oh, you'll never do that, I'm working towards my goal to reach my goal.
As you can imagine, the list of colleges seeking Byron's services is quite long, but he's narrowed it down to just a few. Florida, Florida State, Oregon, Alabama, and Clemson are still in the mix. But he says his decision involves more than just football.
I want my academic to match my football level, high, elite. I want to, get my master's, my degree, all that stuff. So, I'm not going anywhere for just football. I'll go somewhere, who has the best, opportunities and outlets for me as far as, sports broadcasting.
Maybe I'll make room in the broadcast booth for you one day, Byron, but I think you'll be playing football for quite a while. Let's take our last break. Be sure to come back to see our latest viewer mixtape.
True Heroes is brought to you by Project Rebuild. Look for the Project Rebuild display at Walmart and help the Military Warriors Support Foundation award mortgage-free homes to combat wounded veterans by purchasing Dr. Pepper Snapple Group products.
Missed anything from the show or just want to see it again? Check out all the videos we have online at sportstarsoftomorrow.com.
Welcome back to the show. Our youth dream of being here on the show one day, and Mom is their number 1 fan. Sports Mom is here to help all the moms out there find the right equipment and deals. Here's Sports Mom with this week's tips.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Houston and I'm a sports mom. You may not be feeling the cold at your team's high school football game just yet, but it's coming. So be prepared for the colder weather with these deals. You always want to dress in layers, so head over to walmart.com and pick up a Fruit of the Loom Big Men's Thermal Crew shirt on sale for only $8.47. While you're at Walmart, pick up the Lava Buns heated seat cushion for under $30. Don't forget the hand warmers. When you shop on Amazon, you can pick up these Grabber hand warmers for $24.99. Always bring a warm blanket with you too. And right now on Groupon, you get the NCAA 3-in-1 Stadium Blanket, Poncho, and Seat Cushion for only $19.98. And don't forget to pack the thermos for your favorite hot chocolate or tea. This thermos Funtainer food jar is under $17. Looking for more sports deals? Visit our website and don't forget to sign up for our Daily Deals newsletter. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm Chris Houston, a proud sports mom. We hope you'll join the conversation.
It's time once again to check out a tape sent in to us by a viewer. Check out Matt Stanley, a basketball player at Vilonia High School in Arkansas. The small forward is already throwing down some impressive dunks last year as a 6'6" freshman, and he'll be a bigger part of the varsity squad this year as a 6'8" sophomore. He still has plenty of time before he has to pick a college, but if last year was any indication, he could be a player to watch down the road. If you'd like to be on the show, send us a DVD. The address is 6125 Airport Freeway, Suite 201, Fort Worth, Texas, 76117. That's all for our show this week. Thanks for being with us. For the entire crew, I'm Charles Davis. We'll see you next time.
Sports Stars of Tomorrow is brought to you in part by
Dr. Pepper's Snapple Group has partnered with the Military Warriors Support Foundation to create Project Rebuild to assist in rebuilding the lives of our combat wounded veterans.
These heroes have done so much for us. It's time for us now to help them rebuild their lives.
Look for the Project Rebuild display at Walmart and help award mortgage-free homes to combat wounded veterans by purchasing Dr. Pepper's Snapple Group products.
Because we are changing lives with Project Rebuild.